Don't you just hate doing bills, Rue? Frederick food, cauldron payment, slime delivery. Oh, I just had to buy that Eye of Newt, but it was on bulk sale. How could I resist? Oh, I'm just paying some bills. You sit right there and watch the money, Frederick. I'm just paying some bills. As we all know, sometimes things are due when we have to pay, and so we have a very little budget for our dinner for the week. And that's where frozen salmon comes in handy. I'm going to show you 2 different ways to cook it. Because frozen salmon is cheap and it makes a lot of meals. If you don't like salmon, use tilapia or whatever. But I'm doing frozen salmon. Now, as we said, salmon is cheap and it feeds a lot of people. So what I do is go down to my Warlock Mart and I get this. This is a 2-pound bag of wild-caught salmon. Yes, it's frozen. Who can afford to buy a fresh fish? Not this witch. She got shit to pay for. Let me tell you something. We've been doing this for a long time and it tastes just as good. I'm going to show you 2 different ways to make it so you don't get tired of it. Tonight, we're going to steam some and we're also going to bake some with a little goodie on top to bring out the flavor. Now, not that we're going to eat both servings tonight. The steamed salmon will go in the refrigerator afterwards and get nice and cold, and tomorrow we will have a cold salmon salad. Delicious and healthy for our tummies. Let's get started. Now, one of the important things to remember when you have something frozen is to properly thaw it. Now, you can thaw overnight in a refrigerator. That's the slow method of thawing, and it's just as good. Or you can do the quick method, which is just to throw it in a bowl of cold water and then just rotate the water out every 30 minutes or whatever. But I have noticed that the salmon tends to thaw within 20 to 30 minutes anyway, so that's another plus about it. Make sure that you thaw in cold water. If you thaw in warm, you may end up visiting the porcelain throne all night, and we don't want that now, do we? No, that's not fun at all. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to steam the salmon first. Now, we're going to take our pot and we're going to put a couple inches of water in it, and we're going to turn it on high to boil. And on top of that, we're going to put our steamer basket. Now, you may not have one. This pot came with it. A lot of times pots will come with a steamer basket. If you don't have one, you can go find one. They're not that expensive. And then you must have a lid in order to steam. So, what you could do, Witch likes to put lemons in her water to add a little extra flavor and then put lemons on the bottom. But we ain't got that shit. Witch is broke. That's the whole point of this. I don't have lemons right now, but it's still gonna taste great, and I'll show you why. Now, we've got the water starting to simmer up under here. You want to make sure when you steam that the water doesn't actually touch the bottom of the basket. Now, what I'm going to do is I've got these patted dry as much as possible, and then I'm going to put some kosher salt on top and a little black pepper, or if you've got lemon pepper, you can use that. Now, when I place these in here, I'm going to place these in like this, just like that, and I'm leaving a little bit of room because I'm fixing to put some broccoli in here. I'm going to cook some broccoli with it. I'm going to go ahead and break up my broccoli florets. And I've also, since I'm doing 2 different kinds, I'm also going ahead and preheating the oven to 400 degrees. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little, which ain't got lemons, so I'm going to take a little lemon juice, and I'm just going to pour a little bit over the fish, and it'll go down into the water, and that's fine. It's almost boiling now, and we're going to put the lid on. Now, it's only going to take probably less than 10 minutes for that to steam. They're thin pieces of fish, so it won't take long. Yes, my master calls. Look at all that lovely steam coming out. I love it. Now, what we're going to do while that's steaming is I can't put the fish in the oven yet, but I can get it prepared. Now, what we're going to do is spray the bottom of our pan with some olive oil. Non-stick spray. And then we're going to take our fish, which we've patted dry, and we're going to layer it down in here. Oh, God. Do not ever buy skinless salmon. That is a mess. That was an accident. So, on top of this salmon, we're going to squeeze. First, we're going to put just a little bit of salt, kosher salt, a little bit of pepper, and then we're going to squeeze some Dijon. We're going to give that a rub around with our fingers. This is so easy and so good. It's delicious and delightful. There it is. Dillweed. Oh, dillweed. Now that we've had our Beavis and Butthead moment, we're going to put a little bit of dillweed on top of that. Such good flavor on top of that Dijon. Now I'm going to show you something else I like to do. I'm just going to take a few of these club crackers and I'm going to give them a crush. And then we're just going to sprinkle it on top of that. It gives it a little crunch and a nice texture. Now, yes, you can melt 2 tablespoons of butter and put the crackers in that. But which is on a diet, and that's extra fat. And these will cook just fine. The Dijon mustard helps them stick. You don't need the butter. But if you want to, go ahead. I'm pretending like I don't like butter as much right now because I'm on a diet. So just top those. And then, now that they're prepared, we can't cook them yet. I have to wait for the husband to leave work before I put them in the oven. But I'm going to cover them with plastic wrap and stick them in the fridge. Now, when you want cooking your salmon, you want it to be to at least 145 to make sure it's properly cooked. I'm going to go ahead and check this because it cooks so quickly. Ooh, that steam. These are already almost done, and it's been, what, freaking 4 or 5 minutes? Everything is up to temperature at 145, and we're pulling this off right now. I'm just going to leave this on here, let a little bit of the steam escape, and now it's time to pop this in the oven. So we're going to pop our baking fish in, and we're going to set that time for about 18 minutes. Now, I would do 15 minutes in your oven, but I know my oven, and my oven cooks really slow, so it has to be 18 for mine. And there we have it. We've already got our steamed salmon, and it's so beautiful. Let me show you. We're going to have a steamed broccoli tonight with the baked salmon, but the steamed fish I'm going to put aside and let it cool, and then we'll stick it in the fridge for tomorrow night's dinner. Such an easy way. Look at all that. That's the fat coming out of there where I poked it to check the temperature. It's so good, and it's so full of flavor, and so easy. And steaming is actually the healthiest way you can eat your salmon. The timer went off, and I've previously checked the temperature a couple of minutes ago, so I know now that my fish will be done. Let's let some of that steam come out. Look at that. Look at the golden brown and the crisp. It's gonna be so good. Texture is crunchy on top, and then the soft, flaky salmon underneath with the Dijon and the dill coming through. It's really a treat for the palate. Now, I'm going to serve it with rice and my steamed broccoli. Now, let me tell you something. I've learned a little something. I love to steam vegetables, and I like to blanch vegetables. And I have learned something today. When you're making broccoli, blanch your broccoli. Don't steam it, because when you steam broccoli, it loses some of the chlorophyll. So it turns brown. It looks very unappetizing. Let me show you. Can you see the brown right there? It looks a little like poo. It looks very unappetizing. It's still safe to eat, but it looks disgusting. So I will not be steaming broccoli again. I'm just going to blanch broccoli. Now, blanching, if you remember, is when you bring water to a boil, salted water, you put your vegetables in for 2 to 3 minutes, you bring them out, and then you dump them in the ice bath in order to stop the cooking. It saves that beautiful chlorophyll. They have their crunch and all their nutrients. But tonight, we're going to have slightly brown broccoli, and there's nothing wrong with that. It tastes just fine. So, I do hope that you enjoyed the 2 different ways to make frozen salmon, because sometimes we all end up on a budget, and we have stupid tight weeks, and there's nothing wrong with frozen food if you know how to prepare it properly, and remember, thaw it properly. Thank you for joining me on this episode. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and share it with your friends. Everybody needs a way to cook fish. If you don't like fish, I don't freaking want to know about it. There are people that don't like fish, there's people that do. Okay, have a good day, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye. Broccoli and salmon, salmon and broccoli, yum yum, yum yum. Which makes a mess wherever she goes. Where the fuck is my dill? Oh, I previously... Monkey, get out of the fucking kitchen. Bad minion. Sit. You better... Ooh. You're busted on film, chickie. She's stuck in here to get a piece of broccoli that I dropped. Pussy.